Welcome to quick release for the Tensor Fascia Lata. This muscle does pretty much what it sounds like. It tenses the fascia lata, or the muscles and connective tissue that attach the hip and pelvis to the knee. So this muscle does a couple things, right? First off, it tenses the muscle to help stabilize the hip, knee, pelvis. It also internally or medially rotates the thigh, abducts the leg, flexes the hip. So with this muscle, the biggest thing when people want to roll out the muscle is that they tend to want to roll out a little lower on the IT band. This muscle essentially starts at the outer part of the pelvis and feeds all the way down to the outer knee. The IT band and the Tensor Fascia Lata, or TFL for short, basically meet and connect. So they kind of feed into one another. If you roll out a little lower, most likely what you'll do is you'll irritate the fatty tissue below and just inflame it a bit more, since it's really meant to be more stable than anything. So the best way to release any pain or tension in the hip, the knee, or the thigh is to roll out just a little bit higher. So all you'll need for this is a foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, you can use your therapy balls. It will be quite a bit more concentrated and intense, but it's still effective. Before we roll out on this muscle though, let's test the range of motion and control that we have before, and then we'll do it after to see the difference. So we'll start with hip stabilization. Bring your hands to your waist, step on your right foot, and lift your left knee up. Notice a couple things. Notice if you lean to the side in order to lift the leg. I am obviously doing that, right? Notice if you feel balanced or if it's a little wobbly, if one hip is hiking up or down. And then switch sides and see how that feels. Maybe one side feels more stable than the other to start with. Maybe you're not leaning as much to one side or the other. Before we can roll out on the muscle, we have to find it. And it's really simple. You just need to find two bony landmarks in the body. So find the bony protrusion on the front right side of your pelvis. And if you feel on both sides, you'll see that they're in the front and a little bit higher than the outer part of your hip. So once you find those bony protrusions, we're gonna again start on the right side. Then you'll take your other finger to that little dimple of your butt. Once you find that, you can even try rotating your thigh out and in, and you'll feel the head of the femur bone or the thigh bone rotating out and coming back to neutral. So once you find those two bony landmarks, connect the dots wherever they meet in the middle. So the pants I'm wearing today doesn't have the exact seam that goes on the side, but a lot of the times you'll find that the seam of your pant is gonna run just down the outer side of your thigh, and that's pretty much where the muscle is. So you're gonna take the foam roller or your therapy ball to this spot, using this as your starting point. So set up your foam roller perpendicular to the length of your mat, and you're gonna lie on the right side of your body, placing that landmark you found on top of the foam roller or on top of your therapy ball. You're gonna rest on your forearm, straightening your bottom leg, and you can plant your top foot behind it so you have a bit more support. Now the range of motion that we're gonna move here is very small. If you're lying on the therapy ball, you're gonna straighten out your arm and lie all the way down, since you're gonna be much lower to the floor. Otherwise from here, you can press through the outer edge of your bottom foot and the sole of your back foot to help guide you up and down. Same goes if you're on the therapy ball. It's gonna be a little harder to maneuver since you don't have a bigger rolling surface, but you can still move a slight bit up and down. Now, you can continue moving up and down as you rotate your chest a bit more towards the ceiling, so you're more on the back part of the muscle, and you can rotate your chest towards the floor, so you're more on the front part of the muscle. You can even play with rotating your chest to the ceiling up, and then rotating towards the floor instead of moving up and down. So just play with different ranges of motion and movement here, and you'll know when you've hit a tender spot. So you can hold there and breathe there, or you can just hold and move over that same spot a couple times. And you may start to feel natural release from applying pressure and then moving around it. Take just 2 more cycles of breath. Now keep in mind when you're doing this, and if you get the hang of it after watching this video a couple times, maybe you do it on your own, you want to make sure that you're not hanging out on it for a really long period of time. A minute is a good amount of time to roll out. So now come up to standing, and just so you can automatically feel and see the difference, let's retest that movement pattern. Bring your hands to your waist, ground onto your right foot, and lift your left knee up. I realize I just rolled out on my right side, which probably looks like your left, but just notice the side that you rolled out on and the difference. Maybe less lean, maybe more stability, and more balance in the pelvis. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. If you need to find it, once again, you'll find the front of your pelvis, that bony protrusion, the outer dimple of your glute, even play with rotating the thigh out and in, feeling that head of the femur bone moving out and in. Once you find those 2 landmarks, you just connect the dots wherever they meet in the middle. All right, so once you have it set up, lie on your side. Make sure you're not on the pelvis itself, you're below it. You're gonna be resting on your forearm and your bottom leg is stretched out, top foot is planted behind you. Same setup if you're on the therapy balls, except your bottom arm will be stretched out since you're lower to the ground. And again, play with just rocking your body a little bit up and down. Okay, so come off of the foam roller, set it to the side, and now let's retest that movement pattern one more time. So as you come to standing, hands to your waist, try standing on your right leg, left knee up. And I know for me, you may have even seen it, I'm not leaning as much to the side. I feel much more stacked, much more balanced, much more in control of my movements, and most likely less compensation in the body, right? I'm not having to lean, I'm not having to use other muscles that maybe aren't required to be working when doing this movement pattern. I hope you found rolling out the TFL muscle effective and you feel a little bit better in your body. If you have some time, check out some of the other quick fix videos for other areas of your body as well.